Okay, so welcome to our hour of code lesson 2. So my name is Owen, and I will be your leading instructor today. So we also have Shiloh here as our assistant instructor. So yeah, so Shiloh will be sending you links and stuff from time to time to help you with your code. Okay, so before we start, right, can I ask how many of you joined lesson 1? Just wanted, like, if you joined lesson 1, then type 1 in the chat. Or you want to raise your hand, that would be fine. So, yeah. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so that's quite a number of you that have joined lesson 1. So okay. So anyway, even though you didn't join lesson 1, that would be all right. We can start the lesson now. Okay, so for today's schedule, we'll be coding a feeding monkey game. So you might not know what I'm talking about, so I will be showing you the final product later. But for today, we'll be recapping about the fundamentals of programming using our platform, which is called MakeCode Arcade. Then we will be doing a few stages so that we can separate the process. We'll be initializing the background. We will be making the score, the life, the shooter, and control its movement. And then for stage 2, we will be creating monkeys for the shooter to feed. Now for stage 3, we'll be making the monkeys disappear when they are fed. And stage 4, we will be making the win and lose conditions. But from time to time, we have some challenges. So yeah, so that would be pretty cool. So, all right. So let me show you the final product just before we begin, okay, so that you have a better idea. Oh, and you can turn off your camera if you want to. I'll keep my camera on, but that's up to you. So yeah. Okay, so you can see this is like a feeding monkey game. So you can shoot apples and you can obviously feed the monkey. Okay, but don't let the monkey touch you because you'll lose life. And when you reach 15 points, then you'll win. If you lose all 3 lives, then you'll lose. So that's the idea of the game. Okay. Okay, so let's do some recap before we begin coding. Okay, so for those of you who didn't join the first lesson, what we'll be using is the Microsoft MakeCode Arcade. So this platform lets you build console games using codes. So you can see from here, for example, right? So over here, you can see you can make games like this and then you can control. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so let's do a bit of recap. So I need your participation. So can you guys tell me what is the red part here? Is it the output? Is it the input, or is it the function? Does anyone have any idea? Maybe you can type in the chat ABC. You can see it here. Is the red part over here? Is it the output? Is it the input, or is it the function? Do you have any idea? Output. Okay. Any more? A. Yep. Yep. So that's right. The red part is the output. Okay. So pretty good. Now for the blue part, can anyone tell me what the blue part is? Is it the input or is it a function? Yeah, it's the input. So that's right. And for the green part, I don't think I need to ask, but this is the function, obviously. Let me briefly explain what's going on. So for the input, you basically have some buttons which you can control, right? Or for example, here is the start button. If you press this button, then this entire program will work. So for the function, that's where you put your codes together, and that could control the computer. And what you put here will be displayed in the output, or what you do with the input, and you will see it in the output. So this is a screen, and for example, over here we have the function saying Mr. Wong is really handsome, and over here in the output, of course, you can see Mr. Wong is really handsome by starting the program from the input. Okay, so yeah, well done. Okay, so another question. So last time we've covered a concept called procedural execution. What will you see on the screen if we have a code like this? Any ideas? Is it A, B, C, or D? Just put in a chat, maybe. Orange. So that's B. Okay. So, right. So why don't we test out? Yeah, I see a lot of the, oh, we see a C. Okay, so maybe we can, take a look at what's going to happen. And yes, it's going to be B, right? So well done to all of you for answering correctly. Okay, so over here, yeah, we have this over here. So let's, first of all, we set background color to blue and then to orange. And what you would see is, I'm not sure what's not loading. But anyway, let's go to the slides. So you can see the answer is B. That's because the code is executed from the top to bottom. So what that means is if you look at the arrow over here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but if you look at the screen, the arrow, the code will be read from the top to the bottom. So what that means is the computer will see, oh, I have to go blue. But since the computer executes the code really fast, so that's why the computer will just show orange. As actually showed the blue one, but you can't really see it. So that's what's happening. Now to see it, you can do this, which I am not sure why it's not loading. Okay, so over here you can see it kind of shows blue first, and we have a pause of 1 second, then we have orange. So I hope that makes sense when you do your coding later. I hope you can take care of the order and stuff. So, but that's pretty much it for the recap. Okay. Okay, so that's stage 1. So let's start doing some coding exercises. Right. So okay. So maybe we have to log into MakeCode Arcade, which is, Shiloh, can you share the link for MakeCode Arcade to the chat, please? Yeah. Okay, so if you can look at the chat, then you can find the link that Shiloh sent. Okay. All right. No. All right. Yeah. So I have that open. And you can see you can start a new project, right? Then start a new project. Then what we have here, yeah, start a new project and then we create a project. So for those of you who did lesson 1, maybe you already have like 1 project. So maybe it's a good idea to start a new one so you don't use the same one. So you just give a name. So maybe I'll just call it hour of code lesson 2. Okay. So pretty cool. Okay, so what's next? Okay, so the first thing we have to do is that we have to add a background. Oh, and you don't have to do it now because I will be giving you guys some time after we've completed stage 1, like went through the slide. So no worries. All right, so over here you can see you go to C, and you have set background image to something, and then just put it into the onStart. So whatever you put inside here, if you start the program, then it will automatically run the items within the onStart. Okay. So yeah, so we have this one. Just drag it in. It's pretty simple. And then you have, then over here you can go to gallery. Obviously you can draw your own design, but we don't have time for that today, unfortunately. So maybe we can just choose one. It could be anyone, so it's up to you. But for me, I'll be choosing this one. Okay, so that's done. And then you check the code. Yep, you can see there is indeed that background over here. Cool. So, right, so what we can do now is to set some variables. And by variable, I mean by the element that holds a value, and it's going to be changed throughout the execution of the code. Okay, so what that means is, for example, score and life would be the variable for this game, because as you shoot the monkeys, then your score will go up, or as you got touched by the monkeys, then your life will go down. So that's why we have to do that. To do that, we have to go to info. Then you have set score to 0 and set life to 3. So over here, you see, just drag it in. It doesn't matter. Drag it in. Yeah, and then that's pretty much it. So if you start, you can kind of see on the top right corner and top left corner, you have the life and the score. So that's that. All right. Now the next thing that we have to do would be to initialize the sprite. What do we mean by initialize is that we have to make one. So you can just choose anyone you want, but for this particular game, what I would do is I'll go to sprite first, and then after we have the background, you can put it over here, and then you can just choose. Obviously, you can draw. That's up to you. But what I would do is that I would go to the gallery, and it often takes some time to load, but that's fine. I'll just let it load for now. So when you choose, then maybe some of you already loaded. You just choose this one, but sometimes it just doesn't respond too quickly. All right, sorry, I just closed it. Yeah. So yeah, you can see there are a lot of choices, and obviously you can just choose anyone you want. So you can choose the boy over here, and you can choose the fish, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's up to you. So for this game, as I said, I would be choosing the boy, which I am finding. Okay. It's all right, sorry, give me some time because it's quite slow over here for some reason. Okay, quite laggy. Give me some time. Okay, here. Okay, so sorry for the inconvenience. Anyway, so yes, and you can rename the sprite. So to rename a sprite, you just click over here at the arrow, and then you can do rename. And why do you have to rename it? Because later on you have more of these sprites, and if you rename it to something that you understand, that would be pretty beneficial, as it will avoid confusion. So maybe we just call it the shooter because we know that it will shoot some apples, right? Okay, so all right, so right. So over here, we have to also initialize the position of the sprite. So we have to kind of set the position of the character when the game starts. So it can't just go anywhere. Now the default one will be at the center, and that's not good, right? You want to step on the grass. So what you can do, is that you can go to set my sprite position, which is over here. And you want to change this to a shooter, okay? Now, if you look at this thing over here, if I can just share my screen, yep. If you look at this part, this is the x-axis. I'm not sure if you guys learned it already, and this is the y-axis. Now the top is going to be 0 for both x and y. And as it goes down, then the y will increase, and as it goes to the right, sorry, then x will increase. So and we know that this is going to be 160 and it's going to be 120, and we want to take the middle of the screen. So that would be 160 divided by 2, so that's 80, right? So 80 as you go down to a point which is 110, then it'll be somewhere here, which is going to be making the characters kind of step on the grass. So let's do that right away. And you can kind of see over here as well. This is 110. So you can see it's over here. Let's just click OK. And if we run it again, then yeah, it's going to be stepping somewhere there, which is good. Right, and let's control the sprite. So by controlling the sprite, we want to move with buttons. Okay, so buttons would be the buttons on a keyboard. So yeah. or these buttons. Okay, but anyway, so over here, I click controller. You can just drag this down. Oh, and notice how I just put these in order. So you have to have the shooter first before you do any of these. Okay. All right. So if you do that, then then you can see I can move the shooter. But that's not good because we don't want it to just move to anywhere. I want it to move horizontally, which is going to be this. Now this is V and Y, right? And to see this, you have to click this plus button over here. Yes. Notice that X and Y would be this part. This horizontal thing is going to be X, and this vertical thing is going to be Y. So in order to make it not go vertically, then you want to set this to 0. I'm just going to tell you this because we have no time. All right, so and X, just keep it 100, or maybe you want it to be slower, then maybe 8, okay, which is going to be the same as this part. All right, so if you do this, then because Y is 0, right? So you can't go up or down, but you can go first horizontally. That's going to be perfectly fine. So that's the idea, right? And you wanted to stay on the screen. What I mean by stay on the screen would be just like if I do this, right? Then it could leave the screen and it's going to be gone, which is not good. So what we can do is you just choose this. Obviously, change it to a shooter. Stay in screen on. Then, okay. Then it'll be limited to the screen. You can't go anywhere else. So that's the idea. Okay. So to create a bullet, right? Okay. So to create a bullet, you want to press something else so that the shooter will shoot, right? You don't want it to automatically shoot. So what you can do is that you can go to the controller. You go to the controller, and you can choose on A button press. So what that means is when I press this A button, it will shoot. So yes, and that's what we call an event listener. Okay. So wait for a condition to happen, which is to press A. And you want to go to sprites, and set projectile. Now this projectile would be the apple. Now projectile means you kind of shoot something. So it has this, it just moves. So that would be easier to understand. All right, so first of all, we have to rename the projectile to apple so you know what's going on. Apple. Okay. All right, so and then you want to change the picture of the projectile to apple from, of course, it's from the shooter, right? And you wanted to go up. Okay, you want to go up. So first of all, let me get like the apple. So that would be here. Over here on a second one. Let's give it some time. Yes, okay, and then done. Cool. So from shooter, what that means is if you have like a shooter, right, then it will just come from the shooter instead of like dropping from the sky or whatever. And over here you can see the VXVY thing that we just used in the controlling sprite. So what we want to do is that we want to limit X to 0 so it doesn't go horizontally. We want to go up, so that's why we have to use Y. And negative sign might not be something too familiar to you, and it's that as it goes up, then the Y will go down, will be smaller and smaller. And as you go up, obviously the bottom here, 120 is the biggest, and if you go up, it's going to be smaller. So that's why we want the negative sign. All right, and then, so that's pretty much it. And we will be doing a countdown as well. A countdown, so that basically kind of restricts the time for the game. And we can do it through info, where you can see countdown. And you just want to pull it. And here you just kind of decide what time you want this game to last for. Maybe I'll last the game for 60 seconds, so 60. Yeah, so over here, what we have is that during the countdown, you can shoot the apples, whatever. So that's pretty much it. So it's your turn, right? So the main task is that you can complete code for stage 1. Obviously, that includes declare the variables, which is life, the score, the countdown, and then you can set the background of the shooter. You can allow the shooter to move horizontally, stay in the screen, and to shoot at the apple when you press A. Okay, so that's the task for now. I'll give you guys like maybe 3 to 5 minutes. If you're done, then just type 1 in the chat. Okay. So yeah. If you have any questions, right? Shiloh, can you send them Google Meets link as well? So if you have any questions, you can go into the Google Meets to ask Shiloh. And I'm pretty sure Shiloh is sending out the Meets link now. Yes, over here. Thank you, Shiloh. Okay, so a few of you have completed, so that's good. Yeah. Okay, I'll continue at 9:27. Okay, 9:27. So take your time. If you're done already, maybe you can look at the challenge task, which is optional. You can maybe change the background to something you like. And when you shoot, maybe you can add some sound effects. So just mess around with the make code arcade, then it should be okay. Yeah. I'll kind of briefly show you the answer to the challenge task as well. So yeah, you can try it out. Yeah, see. How can we set the shooter? Yes, maybe you can go to the Google Meet, which the host sent. I'll send you once more. And you can go here to ask Charlotte. There's a hint for you guys, right? Go to the sprites tab, and maybe you can find this one, the create one. Then you can kind of make the shooter. So I hope this helps. Just go to the sprites tab, which is over here. Yes, it's 9:27, but only 6 of you are completed. But that's okay. I'm just going to show you the answer, which is exactly the same as our grade. There's some problems here. Yes. Here. So this is the answer. If you are interested. Okay. So Google. Yes. If that's the problem, maybe you can just restart your Google. So that would be okay. Okay. So that's the answer. If you can't complete, right, on the solution task, maybe just go to sound and music, and then you have this one. So yeah. Okay, so Charlotte, can you just send the checkpoint? Maybe I'll send a checkpoint. Okay, so yeah, over here. If you can't complete, then maybe you can look at a checkpoint for now. And when you look at a checkpoint, then maybe it gives you an idea of how to solve the problems that you were struggling with. Right? But we have to continue. So you have to create an enemy now. Right? You have to create an enemy, which is the monkeys in this game, to drop from the sky every like 1.5 seconds, maybe. Then use the on-game updates every 500 ms block, which is over here. And you want to change the number in the 500 to something else. And what do we have to change? Does anyone have any idea? So if 1 second is 1000 ms, then 1.5 seconds would be how many ms? Any ideas?
1250.
1250. That's a good try, but not quite right. Yes, 1500. Basically, multiply this by 1.5. I'm not sure if you guys learned this already. So yes, 1500. And we can do that later. And we want the monkey to fall, right? So we want to choose the set projectile thing to projectile from side with Vx0, Vy0 block. So which is this one over here. If you go to sprites tab, then you can find this. And you drag it into a purple block, which is the on-game update every 1500. So what this does is that every 1500 ms, which is 1.5 seconds, then the computer will execute code inside this this frame over here. And you want to change the name of the projectile to monkey as well. Okay, so let's quickly do that right away. Yeah, so we can do this. So first of all, go to games. I'm just gonna pause this. On game updates every 1500. Okay, then what do you have to do? Yes, you want to go to this part. And you want to choose from side. Notice just now we used from my sprite, this one, which is from the shooter. This time we want to do it from the side of the screen, which is this. Just drag it in. And change it to monkey. To projectile. And yeah, I just want to choose the monkey icon, which is over here. From side with the Vx0, Vy8. Oh, so maybe I can explain a bit about this as well. Vx0 would be so that it doesn't move horizontally. So we wanted to drop kind of like from the top vertically to the bottom. So that's why we want to do the Vy. And maybe if I go back to this slide over here. If you drop from the top, which is 0 for the y-axis, and if you go down, then the y will increase. Okay, so that's why when we want the projectile to go down, we want to increase the y. So yes, and okay, so maybe we can find the monkey. Pretty sure there is a monkey, so let me just find it. Yeah, it's not here. Not here. Oh, I think I missed it. Yeah, can't find it. But, let's see. Oh, yeah, I think I missed it. Fine. Yeah, if you guys are following, I'm not sure if you guys are following or not, but if you guys are, maybe you can just find the monkey and just put it in for now. Yeah, okay. Oh, here, sorry about that. Yes, any of these monkey would do, but maybe we'll choose this one. Yeah, so VX0 and A. Okay, all right, let's continue. Where were we? Yes. Okay, and we also want the monkey to fall from a random spot. All right, so as I just mentioned, the x-axis is from 0 to 160. And we don't want the monkey to be on the very edge of the screen. So we want to leave like a little margin, if you know what I mean. So a little gap around maybe 10 units. So yes, so what we can do here is that we can go to this part. Yeah, you can choose this one, which is set from the sprites tab. Okay. You have this set monkey. You want to choose it for monkey. X, which is, I'm not sure why it's not, so X2, which is from 0 to 160, right? But we want it to be randomized. So we can go to math. Okay, math. I'm gonna pick random. And notice that I can just literally drag these into these ovals. So that's cool. And we, as I said, I want to leave like a 10 units gap, right? So from 0 to 10, so that's 10. So we want to start from 10. 160 minus 10 would be 150. So yep, that would be, yes. And we just set the monkeys classified as an enemy. So we want to choose this one from the sprites as well. Just scroll down and you can find it. Should not be a problem. And enemy. So yes, that should be it. Okay. And yeah, now it's your turn. Okay, so let's try to run this first. So you can see the monkey is falling down from different position every time. And that means our code is running as expected. Okay, so maybe I'll give you guys like 3 minutes. Is that enough? Yeah, let's try 3 minutes. If you're done, type 1 in the chat. If you're done, then maybe you can try the challenge task as well. Okay. Maybe in like 1 minute time, if you guys are still struggling, I'll just show you guys the answer. So maybe you can just copy it quickly so you can follow. Yeah. Okay, so Harvey completed. Yeah, so if you're still not too sure what's going on, you go to the game part, go to the game tab, you choose the on game update every certain time, and you want to change it to 1500, as you can see here. You can see here. Then go to sprites tab, and you should be able to find everything you need, and then math and everything. Okay, I'm gonna just show you guys the answer. Maybe you can kind of see what's going on, and maybe you just put it into your code. So hopefully that would be good. This might be a little challenging, but yeah. Maybe you look at this part. I would be starting 2 minutes later. And if you can't complete, then
I haven't finished stage 1 yet.
Yeah, I think me and Shiloh sent the make code link to the stage 1, so you can just edit directly on stage 1. Let me tell you how that works. So all right, so yeah, maybe you can just go to the Google Meet. Actually, go to Google Meet. You have a Google Meet link, right? So it's on the top, somewhere in the chat. Then you press the Google Meet, then someone will be helping you at the Google Meet. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Yes, Google Meet. maybe I just, yeah. So over here, set monkey, which is from the sprites tab, to projectile. Then you choose the monkey from side with 0 and 80. Okay, so set monkey X, which is the x-axis, to pick random, which is from the math tab. You want to choose from 10 to 150. Okay, we have 4 people completing. That's good. Okay, maybe I'll just. Okay, maybe we'll be waiting for wow, 1 more minute. Okay, and then set monkey kind to enemy. Okay. Yeah, I think waiting for a little long will be good. Okay. Sorry, my camera is on. Okay. Okay, I think we should just go here. Okay, if you are still struggling, you can look at the chat, which we have the link, and let me just show you how this link works. Okay, really quickly. Now, if you can't complete, right, then maybe you can just go here. Then you can see there's a checkpoint to. Then over here you can see edit code if you hover your mouse over here, right? And if you go to edit code, you can see that what we've just done are already in this part. So what you can do is that yeah, oh, sorry, you can just directly start from this template, which is going to speed up your progress. Okay, so yeah, just look at the chat, and that should be fine. Okay, stage 3. Now, stage 3 is going to be a little complicated as well. So we want to make the monkeys disappear when they're fed, right? So we don't want it to keep falling down, and also when they disappear. So that means when you shoot the apple and you want it to increase your score, or when the monkey touches you, then your life will go down. So yeah, as I just said, these are the objectives. So I'm not going to repeat. Okay. Sorry. So feeding a monkey in order to in order to successfully feed the monkey, the apple should be the apple. That's the typo. And the monkey has to overlap. So we'll use the overlap block, which is in the sprites tab. And we can go there now. Let's jump right into it. Yeah, so here, you can see sprites, you can see the overlap thing over here. Just choose this one, okay? Yeah, okay, so of kind, and then you want to choose of kind enemy, which is the monkey. Overlaps other sprite of kind projectile, which is what's that called? Which is the apple. Okay. So what that means is when the monkey overlaps the apple. And I'm not going to repeat. Okay, so the monkey leaves after being fed, right? And the apple is eaten by the monkey. So what we want to do is that we want to destroy both the apple and the monkey. Okay, so what we can do is as follows. Go here to sprites. You can go to destroy, effects. Okay. And we want to change it to monkey. And we want it to change it to apple. And let's set score. to, okay, not set score, that's the wrong one. And we want to change score, sorry, change score. What about mean by change is that you want to increase the score, so add one. So yes, so I hope this makes sense. So when they touch, then both of them disappears because the apple is eaten, the monkey is fed, so it leaves. So I hope this is making sense. Right. And when you get hit by a monkey, so when the monkey hits you, you lose a life, right? What that means is because you're in the bottom. So when the monkey drops down, you still couldn't shoot the monkey, and you lose a life. So you want to drag one more of these overlap blocks, which is over here. Now here, what you want to do is that you want to change on the player, which is you, right? I want to pause this, you, and then of kind enemy. So what that means is when the monkey overlaps with you, okay? So yes. Then obviously you want to destroy the monkey after you got hit. So you can just choose destroy monkey, and you don't want yourself to be destroyed. So you don't have to destroy yourself. Just destroy a monkey. And yeah, and since you got hit, then you lose a life. So that's it. And that is for stage 3. Yes, and if you have not completed stage 2, make sure you use the checkpoint I just sent to the chat. Just click it, and then you can just edit and just add these 2 conditions over here. And yeah, should be pretty straightforward. If you have completed, press 1 again in the chat. Type 1 to let me know. Yes. So as you can see here, when the goal is that when the apple touches the monkey, then both the monkey and the apple disappears, and you gain a point, which you can find in the sprites tab. Yes, thank you, Anna. And when the player touches the monkey, then the monkey disappears, but you don't disappear, okay? Only the monkey disappears, and you lose 1 life, which you can find the life and the score thing in the info tab, I believe. And the destroy thing would be in the sprites tab. Okay, and I see more people are completing. That's good. Okay, so yeah, and for the challenge task, which is for those of you who already completed, maybe you can add a hard obstacle that gives you 1 life, because when you lose life, apparently you can't gain 1 life, right? So maybe you can just add some hard obstacle that spawns on the screen or whatever, that you can catch it and then you can get a life. So yeah.
Let's start by one. How do we place the code? Because you set from top to bottom, so how do we place the code?
You just put it in, I believe. Is your code not working? If it's not working, then you can go to Google Meet and maybe you can screen share and then you ask the teacher over there to kind of see what's going on. But yes, from top to bottom. So yeah, but it doesn't really matter here. So yeah, from top to bottom, just insert it, right? Just insert it. So maybe what that means is that, for example, at the beginning we have the sprite, right? So you have to have the code saying that you want to make the sprite first, then you can start doing something to the sprite. So those actions to the sprite will be below. Okay, yes, we can show the code. Will be below the code that makes the sprite, something like that. And yes, Rico, the code is over here. I'll just start in like 1 minute because time is running out. Yeah, just quickly copy, should be good. And if you can't complete, don't worry, because we will be having the checkpoint thing as well. So that would be okay. Okay, so yes, I think, yes, you're welcome. Yeah, and if you did the challenge task, then you just make a heart, just drops, and you can define a new kind, something like that. Okay, so that's for this part. And yeah, I think I'll just put the checkpoint link here. So if you couldn't complete just now, then you can just start from the checkpoint that I've just sent you. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so the last stage over here is that we want to make the win and lose condition. Let's realize that here, even though if I catch like 100 monkeys and I still couldn't win, there isn't like a win thing. Okay, so what I want to do is that I just want to. All right, so objective. So when the score is 15, so this is up to you, but for this game that I am going to be creating, it'll be 15. For you, you can change it. It's pretty simple, and I'll teach you how to do that later. And when the life is 0, then you lose, obviously. Now, the score system recap. So last week we touched on something that's called an if condition. An if condition is that when a certain condition is met, then what's inside the if loop would be executed. So for example, if the score is 20, score equals 20, right? Then game over and you win, something like that. So yeah, and it has to be equal to 20, right? So it couldn't be anything else. So yeah. And what we want to do is that we want to go to loops, we want to go to forever. And what I mean by forever is that this will be an event listener. So it will just keeps on running while you run the program, and it will be waiting for a certain condition inside the forever loop to be executed. Okay, so that might sound a bit complicated, but let's just start by implementing this part. So drag a forever block and then drag out a logic block from the logic tab. All right, so logic, which is below the loops. If true, we want to choose this one, and then you want to replace the true to this one. It's also a hexagon, so you can just directly put inside. And that's a little trick for you guys. When you see the shape is kind of similar, just dragging and then it should work. And over here, okay, you want to go to info. You have scores. Choose this one. When the score is 15, all right, 15. Then you want to do game over and toggle to win. So this one, you just press it and it should go in like this. Yeah, maybe you can choose an effect as well, but we'll just put that aside for now. And yes, you can see there's a pause thing over here. Pause for us 0.1 second. Okay, so let me show you what's going to happen. I'm just going to quickly, you know what? Let me change it to 5. I'll just show you what's going to happen if I did not have the pause thing. Just quickly show you guys that. Okay, something's wrong. I'm just going to quickly show you what's going to happen. And you can see it's still at 4 here on the top right corner. I'm not sure if you can see it, but here it's at 4. And that's because the code for this make code is a little bug. So if you don't add a little pause, then it can't really exactly process this. It's too quickly executed. So what you can do is that you want to go to loops and you just put pause 100 milliseconds, and this should solve the problem. I'm not going to demonstrate, but you can try it by yourself. Maybe I can do that when you guys are trying this out. But the loose condition, which is the last thing that we'll be implementing today, would be if life will be another if condition. So just put it, make sure you put it below the current if condition and inside the forever loop. So that's a little trick over here. Okay, drag it in, do the same trick. You want to pull that hexagon and go to info, go to life, drag it in. So what that means is if life, which is the number of hearts you have, goes to 0, as in you got hit by the monkey for 3 times, then game over, lose. And you don't have to add a pause this time because like the score doesn't really matter anymore. So yeah, that should be it. Okay, so I'm just gonna show it here because I realized that many of you are kind of struggling. I understand it's quite complicated, so that's why I'm just gonna show here. And in the meantime, I'm just going to play this game to kind of show you guys what's the difference of having the pause. So if you're done, just press 1 and type 1 in the chat to let me know, and you can see the code here. If you haven't completed the previous one, then maybe you can use the checkpoint so you can kind of read what's going on. Okay, so you can see 15. So now you have 15, not 14. So that's why adding a pause would be helpful. Okay. But anyway, so yes, you guys just spam the chat. 1. Yes. Okay, so a lot of you have completed, so that's good. What's going on? Check. Just put it more. Yeah. And as you can see,
where do we put the countdown?
Countdown. Okay, countdown is right here on the. You guys can you see this on start thing over here, the green one. You can see start countdown 60 seconds. You can find it in the info. You can just kind of determine by the color. So yeah, info, drag it here, then you can do a countdown.
Not make it 60 seconds and make it other seconds.
Yeah, you can just press this one over there. So you can see the 60 over here. You can kind of change it to anything you want. So maybe if I want it to be 90, then you just do that and you have 90. Okay, so I hope this makes sense. Yeah, have you guys completed this part? Because I don't see any more new input. Yeah, and if you're like, and as I said, you can just use the checkpoint from the previous, as I just sent, then you can, yeah, you can use the checkpoint, which could help. Okay, I think I'm not exactly going to wait in terms of, oh yes, and if you want to save this game, let's say we want to save, then you go to here, top, just right next to the little house, right? Then you can obviously share your project. You can just name it anything you want. You publish, and then you have the game. Okay. And you have the game, then you can copy a link and you can share it to your friends or whatever. You can try it out. I'll be sharing mine to you guys. So maybe if you guys are interested, then you can play with this one. Okay. So yes, in terms of the challenge that you guys some of you might want to try out, then maybe you can introduce like a little pigeon, doesn't like apples, then maybe when you shoot it, then it will create it, and you will deduct some points. So maybe you can use some of these little blocks here to help you. So maybe you can print screen for this part if you want to try out. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so with that being said, and my project being exported to the chat, I think this is pretty much the end of today's session. Thank you very much for participation. But before you leave, Charlotte, can you send the Google Forms link to the chat? Yeah. So when you have completed the Google form, which is the evaluation form for this session, then you can leave. But I would be. Let me find the Google form now. Yeah, just hang on for a second. I will be trying to find. Yeah, so this is the Google form. Yes, if you look at the chat, please, then you can see there's a Google form. Please complete it. Only takes around 2 minutes. And when you complete the Google form, then you may leave. Okay. Well, I understand this is a pretty tough session. Many of you are pretty new to programming, but I hope you guys find this to be interesting. And I hope you guys learned something from this session. Because after you complete the Google form, you may leave. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Mr. Wang, I can't click on the link because I'm using my dad's computer, and then his website does not allow me to click on the Google form.
It's not allowed. Oh, if that's the case, then never mind. It doesn't matter. If you can't click it, then it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, see you. Thank you for letting me know.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.